Welcome to the Fintelligent Investor channel. I'm CA Pratisha Pai. Welcome to yet another episode of our show, The Professional on Call Who Knows It All. Today, we have with us another esteemed professional for this show, CA Sujata Raguraman from Bangalore. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Pratiksha. I'm very glad to be on your show.
Thank you. Thank you. You obliged to our request and made it to our show. Ma'am, you have been in CA practice for 15 years. And in this journey, you have also been a part of KSCAA, which is the Karnataka State Chartered Accountants Association. And not only have been a part of this organization, but you have also headed this organization throughout the way. Of course, you have handled various other posts also, and then finally you have headed this organization. And so now, with all this diverse experience that you have, we have a good long conversation to have with you. So welcome to the show, ma'am. In your experience as a practicing chartered accountant for the past 15 years, you must have seen a lot of reforms happening in the Income Tax Act and in the GST law. We all have seen the birth of GST law actually. And every day, some or the other new update is coming. So, how are all these reforms and updates affecting the CA profession in your perspective, ma'am?
Yeah, I would say we are at the right time and lucky to be part of 15 years journey. When I started my practice in the year 2009, from 2009 to 2024, if you see, there are major reforms in indirect tax, which is GST, and in direct tax also a lot of digitization has happened. Apart from that, there are changes in Companies Act 2013 was introduced. So
Right.
if I have to look at it from practitioner's perspective or as a CA as a profession, if I have to talk about the direct tax, income tax for that matter first, when I started my practice, that was the era where it was moving from offline, like physical submission of ITRs to online submission, where in those times Form 26 AS was just introduced. So there was a talk that the professional opportunities may come down. But if you look at it now, the day when I started my practice, though it is automated, where everything is getting auto-populated, and government also says, filing is going to be very simplified. It's a 1-minute return. It started from 1-page return to simplified return, online filing, and from today, auto-populated return, where you just have to click the button of submit. It just goes through.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So whereas if you look at our opportunities, it has tremendously increased. So that is where the opportunity lies, I would say, because everywhere there is a value add is required as a professional. Digitization must have happened, but still, as a professional, we need to see whether the data auto-populated is correct or not, whether it is relevant for the assessee, what is the validity of that data, and also more and above that, we need to give correct advice for the taxpayer, in whatever form they need. So definitely it has increased our opportunities with respect to direct tax. So when I have to talk about GST, I would say where there is a complexity, there is an opportunity. So that's how I look at it. The host of amendments, the changes in the law, it's tremendous. You cannot keep track of the changes that has happened over a period of time. To be specific, if I have to say in the recent times, from July, August, there are about 23 notifications were issued.
Just in July, August.
Yes, within a span of just 1 week. And imagine after Finance Bill 2024, there are a lot more changes in the rules, forms. So it keeps us occupied all the time. So GST is very, very complex law. I wouldn't say it is easy. Definitely it is a complex law. If somebody wants to take up GST itself as a practicing area, you will not have time to do anything more. So that is the amount of dedication and the complexity the law demands. If I have to say what are the kind of changes that has gone through in this 2017, because we start with always ease of doing business, right?
Correct.
Start with simplified law. Whereas if you look at the amendments, why is it amendments happening in the first place? See, when I did my articleship, majority of my learnings were only in direct tax, and I have not seen my seniors or my colleagues practicing in many areas. They were restricting it to one or two areas. They were very comfortable. But in today's context, if you see, it is very difficult for you to practice in all the laws. So, with respect to GST, when I say the amendments, lot of amendments, whether it comes in the form of clarification, like the taxpayer does not have clarity whether the matter goes to the judiciary. So judiciary comes out with certain clarifications, certain decisions that has to be clarified through CBIC. So there are clarificatory changes. And then second, in the compliance, what kind of forms, whether there is, changes in the forms. Why the changes in the forms? Again, to simplify the ease of doing business, to help the taxpayer.
Irony of it.
Yeah. So in the form of simplification, definitely there is clarity in the law. The law is also evolving. But at the same time, as professionals, our work has enhanced. Definitely, as a taxpayer, they will not be able to keep track of the amendments. They will not be able to understand. So they come to the professionals for having better clarity and clarifying their ambiguity in their law. So in the law. So it's definitely I feel that whatever reforms have happened in the recent times, it's for the good for the economy, good for the taxpayer, at the same time, good for the professionals also.
Even if a professional takes a super niche category, like very narrow category, like only GST litigation, still they can build an entire career out of it.
Definitely. There is there are a lot of scope for people who are into litigation. And again, that requires dedication. It's not that,
And it requires a lot of study and
study
application.
lots. Yeah.
Yes. So, ma'am, in this same flow of thought, going forward, I want to take a slight detour now. As you know, we have a lot of big CA firms which are multinational firms, actually. And our Prime Minister also put forth a thought that we should also have Indian firms which should become multinational firms in their own regard. And this gave birth to an idea of Big Ten, wherein Indian firms also get included in this. So you have served the profession in the capacity of your various titles in KSCA. Already you have served the profession in that manner. So what is your vision for the profession, for the CA profession as such, wherein how can CA professionals come together and build this Big Ten?
Yeah, that is the dream of I think, every bigger firm in Bangalore or for that matter in India today. So if you look at it from the, process point of view, I would call it as steps. What are the steps which we have to, carry out to reach the big four level, to call it as a Big Ten of India's, the India's Big Ten. So currently, if you look at it, why are we not able to reach up to that level? Why are we not able to call ourselves as Big Ten? Though there are many firms, why small firms, where two partner firms or three partners firms cannot think in the angle of moving towards the global level firm? I will not call it as a big firm. How do we make it global? The thing is that the first and foremost is that there should be shift in thinking. First and foremost is that there should be shift in thinking. Thinking in the sense we have to come out of our traditional mindset where whoever joins in my firm, okay, whether as a professional or as an employee, I will accept them as a employee, not as a traditional article clerk. Okay. So you give them the designation, you give them the ownership, make the things transparent, so that they also feel that they are part of the growth of the firm, or you call it as a company or call it as, treat the firm as a company. Just come out of the mindset of proprietorship firm, partnership firm. Okay, that is step number one. Second is that we have to have some process. If any employee joins, okay, whether he's joining as a CA or as a semi-qualified CA, everybody joins the organization, any organization or any company for that matter. They want to see their future from that company, right? Where will I reach 5 years from now? Where will I reach 10 years from now? So the company as a proprietor, you call yourself as a proprietor or a firm or as a CA firm, let me make it very generic. As a CA firm, it is our responsibility to ensure that we also set our own goals for our employees, for our own firm, so that they keep faith on us and work towards the growth of our firm. And automatically, when the firm's growth happens, obviously we all of us grow together. Third is that collaboration is very important. As you rightly said, in today's context, if you want to practice in GST, it's impossible for you to focus on other areas. So just like how companies are able to grow, why not we? See, for that matter, even a person who is not qualified or graduates are able to take their company to 100 crore, 1000 crore level. Why not being a professional? Why can't we do that? Definitely it is possible. What is lacking is the mindset. So when I say mindset, we have to learn to collaborate with others. It need not be in the form of partnership. One CA wants to join with other CA. Okay, it can be on assignment basis, or it can be on some hourly basis, or it can be on project basis, or number of days basis. Like it can be any form of collaboration. Now, because of digitization, we can even work with the CA who's sitting in Ahmedabad, who's sitting in Tamil Nadu, or sitting in Kerala, anywhere. Like what it needs is that mindset. So if you keep your mind open, you take up any opportunity, you stick on to what your inner calling, what your area of specialization is, stick on to that, be the entrepreneur or head of the organization, definitely things will fall in place. So these are all the small steps which we have to learn to adapt, so that at some point, even the small firms, let us forget about two partner firm or three partners firm, even a proprietor can also reach to the level of big four, you call, big 10, you call. Definitely it is achievable.
So what you're saying is actually very interesting. You're saying that let us focus on our expertise and let us provide that expertise to other CA firms who may not have an expertise in such a area, and let us collaborate with them, and in return we can utilize their expertise in something where we are not really specialized at.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So, because when we are having an expertise in any one sort of a area or a field, we may do better work in lesser time also.
Exactly.
And that will also ensure that we can charge better.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think this is something that we all need to understand first. As you said, the mindset shift somewhere is more required. And one good thing we have is that definitely there are no geographical boundaries. As you mentioned, I can sit in Bangalore and deal with a chartered accountant in Ahmedabad or Tamil Nadu or Madhya Pradesh. So absolutely, that makes real good sense. And in this way, we can start at least a connection of chartered accountants throughout India, and then we can see how to give it a proper shape, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very nice. Very nice. So, Sujata, you have been involved with the KSCA for many years in various titles, and you have also held the position of the president of KSCA. And in the history of organization, you became the first lady to hold the president post and to head the organization. So while that is a very good thing, I don't know, maybe fortunately or unfortunately for so many years, why there wasn't any other woman president. But definitely you made a start to it. And having seen the journey, do you want to also put some light on what is does gender roles matter? Is there an imbalance in the profession as a whole, in women versus men, or what can we do to make a better balance between the gender roles? Because of course, when we are talking about $5 trillion economy, $10 trillion economy, third largest economy, definitely both the genders should be given a exact good push, and both genders should be made proper use of the human resource, and only then this goal also becomes achievable. So what is your perspective on the gender roles in the profession?
Yeah. So let me address your first question first. So when I joined KSCA, I took the role of Women Empowerment Committee chairperson. I joined as a Women Empowerment Committee, where you wouldn't believe at that point of time, 8 years ago, I knew only 4 women. Just 4 chartered accountants, I would say rather. It's not even 4 women, just 4 or 5 chartered accountants. But when I was given that role, I had no clue of how to go about. But thanks to my organization and my mentors and my past presidents, they really helped me a lot to connect with other members, network with other senior professional colleagues. So it helped me a lot to just bring in some kind of change in the organization. That is number one. Second, see, as a woman, I wouldn't say that gender is something which we have to project as, negatively, or as a claim, or as a, people should be given some preferential treatment. Definitely no. Only one thing what I would definitely argue is that God has created differently, that we have to accept. You cannot change the nature. Whatever men do, let us accept that there are certain things as women we cannot do. Okay, professionally, yes, definitely achievable, but there are certain things which we have to admit by nature we cannot do. And mentally, emotionally also, there are challenges. First is that acceptance. Once if you accept what's your, do's and which you can do, capable of doing, which are the things which you cannot do, the conflict will not come. The conflict will come in only when you try to prove that whatever you can do, I will also do. I never get into that conflict. Let me be very clear. These are the things I am capable of doing. See, there are so many things which you can't do, right? For anybody for that matter. If you ask me to climb moon, yes, I will not be able to. So let us not focus on the things which I can't. Let me focus on the things which I can. This is
Right.
generic to even men. Okay, there are a
Absolutely.
list of I can't things. You cannot focus on I can't. You have to always focus on what I can.
Right.
So if you have that mindset, doesn't matter whether you are a woman or men, the path becomes clear. So second, when it comes to interacting with, male dominated, area or community, definitely in the initial stage, anywhere for that matter, there will be some resistance. Resistance in accepting your ideas, resistance in making you to work on certain things, right? It will be there. It's all up to us, up to women, how far we are strong and commit and deliver. So come what may, whatever may be the judgment, whatever may be the comments, whatever may be the feedback, we have to be strong in delivering what we promised. Once the confidence is, set on us, or people start believing, then there is no question of gender bias or anything. Conflicts do come at any point of time. Okay. If I have to talk about KCA, one of the biggest learnings which I would say is that conflict management, right? So we have to
Absolutely.
understand that when 4 minds meet, you will get 6 ideas. You have to live with it. You cannot say that yes, my way is highway. That's not possible. You have to learn with the diverse opinion, people coming from different backgrounds, different ideas. How
Correct.
do we, take people along, at the same time put your ideas forward at the, interest of the best interest of the larger group, and then execute it. That is what is all about. So if why this many years nobody has come, I would say people quit halfway. It is
Right.
not that in KCA not many women have come forward. They have come up to some position. Like, in office bearer position also, there are 5 key roles. They come to some level and then they give up because of various reasons. Probably they are not able to balance their family, professional career, and the social activity. or because of their personal reasons. We don't know why. So with the blessings of God, fortunately, I did not have such other commitments, so I could pull on. So when I say women, why they are not able to, continue or reach up to the top, one major reason what I see is that it is in our, hand to ensure that our role should not be taken for granted for the sake of ornamentally, taking it.
Correct.
Okay, you are a woman. I just don't need a woman. I need to fill up this place for a woman, so you are given. Let us not use that. I am
Yes,
also capable. I happen to be a woman. I happen to be a woman. I'm confident that there are many women will follow, right? So that should be the trend, not for the sake of filling up. Yes, there is a woman needed. Yes, that post should be given. If that is given, I will be the first person to deny that.
absolutely, absolutely.
Whatever comes should come out for my merit or for my quality or for my efforts. If I
Yes,
happen to be a woman, yes, I'm happy.
right.
So it's not that if KSCA wanted, they could have ornamentally done that. With the due respect to my organization and my mentors and seniors, they have not done that. If they wanted, they could have done it. They have
Yes,
not done that. And due tests were, put on me. It's not that I have also gone through just like that. There were
absolutely.
challenges from my side also. I had to pass through certain things. Then only I got elevated. It was not that easy.
Wow.
8 years I served for KSC. So
You mentioned, as you mentioned, 8 years you served for the KSCAA, and definitely in these 8 years, you would have seen a lot of things, maybe in the profession, maybe in the institute, which needs some sort of a change or some sort of an updation. So, as we all know, even the CA Institute elections are also there in December. What is your vision for the institute as a whole? Because every day is a day of updation and change nowadays. It is so dynamic. What is your vision for the institute as a whole?
see, for that matter, if you say we are living in the world of plentiness, like abundance, I would say whatever you take, everything is available in abundance. Abundance is also a problem. I think scarcity is good. I feel
Yes,
so when you have in abundance, if you take GST update or anything, you plenty of videos. If you want to learn GST, plenty of videos. If you ask anybody what is the area you want to get in, everybody list not one or two, at least 5 or 6 areas of specialization. Like you can get into forensic audit, you can get into valuation, you get into IBC, you get into
absolutely.
GST, you get into litigation practice. So we are living in the world of abundance, problem of abundance. So it's for us to choose what suits us, what is good for me, what am I good at. So it's time for us to recraft yourself. That was my, in fact, intention also. You may be good at everything, but you need to know what you are extremely good at. Oh, okay. So if that being the case, it's time for us to introspect and spend some time on what you are good at, how you can shape your future. If you decide and work on it, I'm telling you the opportunities and growth is definitely it's
Limitless.
limitless, I would say, limitless.
Absolutely.
So as from the institute point of view, if you ask me, currently, yes, there are a lot of courses are happening. What we lack is some kind of mentorship in the sense guidance. There are so many women who have taken break in their career. Okay, if they come and approach me like, how do I go about, what do I do, the one thing what I tell them is that if you want to do for like time filling or keep yourself engaged, then don't choose practice as your option. Practice is not your time filling activity or part time activity. Practice is
Absolutely. I was just coming to that as well. You have mentioned you have been in the Women Empowerment Committee, as well as you mentioned that even women in leadership roles also sometimes quit for a lot of reasons. So it is actually a high statistic of women who kind of, quit during the time of marriage or childbirth. It is always the woman who has to choose between family or work, etc. And yes, what you rightly mentioned, sometimes women, especially chartered accountant women, feel that let me start a practice. Maybe it'll be very easy and I can get in and out of office whenever I want. But the reality is that practice is also as challenging, or I need to say more challenging than employment. So, yes, what is your perspective on that issue as a whole?
Yeah, definitely practice is even tougher than employment, I would say, because at least in employment you have 2 days of holiday, 3 days of holiday. Like you have a, one mail notification saying out of office on vacation for 4 days, 5 days. Here, nobody's interested whether you are whether you are on vacation or you are on medical emergency. For the clients, you have engaged on something, so you have to deliver. Whether you deliver it or your team delivers, it's left to you. So from day one, when you have decided to practice, what you have to develop is that create layers of leaders. Like, below you, there should be somebody. There should be delegation of work should happen. So never think practice as self-employment. Self-employment in the sense, okay, I'm given 4 hours of work, I will do 4 hours. That's enough for me. That's not how practice works. Once when you get into practice, every day is a new problem, right? When one client will come with the problem, you will never know again when will the same problem will get repeated. The second client will come out with the second problem. So you will start doing your research on that. You will never know when that will again get repeated. So this is how you start exploring. So because of which, you will end up spending more time. You will become a specialist. So you need to have multiple layers in your office or wherever you are working. And beyond a point, what you have to develop is a leadership quality. Okay, that is a now time, like, when you asked about institute vision, luckily we have learned operations management, we have learned financial management, we have learned corporate law, income tax law, everything, for that matter, not only taxation, we know all the subjects. So it is for us, it's a right time for us to put everything into action. Gone are those days where I will end up my life, I will end my life as a proprietor and live as a proprietor. It is time for us to collaborate and create layers of next generation of people. So for that, what we have to, learn is the art of delegation, conflict management, working with the team. So soft skills. These are the skills which we have to acquire. Probably we may need to attend 6 months course. Even I would say there was a MDP course conducted by ICA, which was extremely good. We call it as shadow boarding, where in the boardroom, where even youngsters, young members. So if I have to give you an example, I learn VLOOKUP or pivot table from my junior, who's just 18-year-old boy, right? So at the same time, when I want to do for any litigation, I go to my senior who's 80 years old. So it is for us to have the mix of these two extremes. If we really want to be in practice, successful to be in practice, this is the combo which we need to have. So probably from institute angle, if I have to say, what we need is networking and mentorship is definitely these two things are missing. And from professionals point of view, what we have to, there are a lot of skills which we have to learn. Okay, what we have studied and those curriculum is perfectly fine, but when it comes to practice, negotiation is a skill, soft skill.
Absolutely.
How do you negotiate with the client? How do you mitigate your client? I mean, risk with your client. That's an art which we have. I mean, no curriculum can teach all these things.
Absolutely, absolutely. And when we are negotiating skills, I think the best person from whom we can learn is from our clients, because they are
Exactly.
entrepreneurs. They do that every day, maybe in their business. So definitely, there is something to learn from clients as well.
Exactly. So every day is a learning. Probably from institute perspective, as a professional, we may have to work on the skill set. What are the skill set I have to improve? And second, networking. What kind of networking I have to do to enhance my business, because gone are those business. CA profession is slowly turning into from a pure profession to slightly, business in the sense now we are working as a consultant, business consultant. So when you say you are a business consultant, you need to have business acumen. You need to have those kind of certain skills. You should be able to look at the businessman not from the balance sheet angle or from number perspective, but from the business angle, right? So unless and until you assume certain roles, assume yourself, take up that role, it is difficult for you to. You cannot wear the hat of a chartered accountant and say that yes, I will be a look into your numbers after the end of the financial year, right? So,
and I think somewhere the professionals, somewhere, the meaning of networking and collaboration, some people may feel that if we are in a WhatsApp group, that is enough networking. But we'll be in a WhatsApp group and we'll be silent. That is also not networking, right?
exactly.
We may have to motivate them to become more, show out their voices more.
Exactly. So raising voice at the right time for the right cause is very, very important. And to grab the global opportunities, we need to learn the culture of other countries.
Correct.
So cross-border transactions, how does that culture of that country, for that matter, right from sending mails, right from negotiation, right from deliverables, every country has a certain culture and pattern. So it is just not restricted to our own Indian clients, but taking them, serving clients abroad has become the norm of the day. Maybe over a period of time, it will become norm of the year, norm of the day. So if that being the case, what are the skill set which we have to acquire? So this is one thing which I would feel that, which I feel that institute has to,
Imbibe, yeah.
imbibe, yeah, or, disseminate for our members.
Right.
Yeah, that knowledge sharing should happen from either from institute side or from other professional bodies side, or even as professionals we can learn. Nowadays there are a lot of platforms, online platforms are there. These are the skill sets which we have to acquire.
Absolutely. So that's been a great pleasure knowing your thoughts on various aspects. It was a very short conversation, but we covered so much. We talked about gender roles, we talked about KSCA, we talked about Big Ten, and we also talked about the challenges that our profession is facing day in and day out. And we also got to know about what are your visions for the institute and for the profession as a whole. And we thank you so much, ma'am, for being on our show. And dear viewers, if you found this video useful, please like it and share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel. And thank you for being with us till here. Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Pratiksha.
Thank you.